Welcome to Everything Self-Love and Recovery. Today, I'd like to discuss a few things that's going on with my life and just break the monotony of everyday questioning someone coming in. And truthfully, I really didn't have anybody aligned for today because this weekend past was an exciting day for me. My engagement party was planned to the T. The food was fantastic. Friends and family came from all over and supported my fiance and I, and it's just been a beautiful weekend. So I really didn't have anyone lined up for this week, and to use the time wisely, I wanted to come in and just share some humbleness and some gratefulness and to talk a little bit about my journey to this point. And it's just amazing how prayer, meditation, and journaling can possibly enhance and help and do all the things that we're doing. Took a minute. So today I want to talk about my journey thus far and all the exciting things that has happened in my life. And today I'm an engaged individual. The proposal was excellent. Couldn't get her family where I was at the time and couldn't get my family together. So I elected to do it on a Gateway Clipper there in Pittsburgh on an evening that she never even thought would possibly happen. And it was just a beautiful thing. So I recorded it. I believe I took all the proper steps to notify family members and things of that nature of my intentions, because you don't just go marry a girl without asking her family members and things of that nature. So anyway, beautiful evening. I posted it in the podcast somewhere. It was just a great night, and she definitely said yes. And I got to ask her to one of my songs that I've been playing now for over a year. And it's an older song, but it's called Not Everything Self-Love and Recovery. It's called Just a Couple of Forevers. And that song, when I started this journey again of journaling, prayer, meditation, and working the steps in order with the sponsor, I would listen to that song every evening. And I would play it time and time again, 55-inch screen TV, YouTube, replay, and my surround sound played it. But I remember looking at the screen and just asking, what is a couple of forevers? Now, you would think I knew what the song meant. She was asking for a couple of forevers, forever love. And for me, self-love was fleeting. I knew what I saw on TV. I knew what I was shown in magazines and books that's coming up. I felt that my self-love was taken from me at an early on when I was inappropriately touched at the age of 8. After that, some bad behaviors came into play and coping mechanisms, but the feeling was so elusive, and I'm sure you've heard most of this story before, but I'll tie it into the engagement and where I am today with self-love. One of my last guests or so asked me, what does self-love mean to me? And it was quite interesting when he flipped the switch on me and had me actually answer what self-love to me. And today is self-love is taking care of the things I need to take care of to show up 100% me. Now, you might ask yourself, what do you mean 100% you? Haven't you always been you? Aren't you Wendell in the flesh? Yeah. I would say yes, I'm Wendell in the flesh, but those coping mechanisms that I learned through coming up through the ages, the lying, the cheating, the manipulation to get exactly what I wanted when I wanted, and sometimes things that I didn't know that I got. Definitely alcoholism and addiction was one of them. I didn't want to be an alcoholic. Didn't want to be smoking crack and doing all the bad behaviors, but those things happen, and I digress. It's just a beautiful thing to know the journey that I've been on and to know that I can love myself. I do love myself, and I'm an okay guy. I truly believe that today. And it took some practice. It took some looking in the mirror every morning. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm loved. I'm loving. I'm lovable. Those kind of practices, along with shadow work, along with the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, along with journaling every morning, prayer every morning, meditating. My meditation has went from 4 or 5 minutes a day to 20 minutes a day. And sometimes during lunch or in the evening when I get home, I meditate as well. That is the time for me to get in touch with me. See, when we said prayer and meditation, I thought the 11th step in the 12 steps program of Alcoholics Anonymous talks about prayer and meditation, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him. And as I started working that step and trying to learn about meditation, it eluded me because, like most people, meditation seems to have all these things running across my head, and you got to be in a perfect lotus position. You know, those are some of the pictures I had, hands up and and things of that nature. Meditation can be a lot of different things for a lot of different people. But let's back up to prayer. So when I talk about prayer, we were taught prayers when we were coming up, the Lord's Prayer, and then going to church every morning or once a week on the weekends, and prayer meeting during the week. You know, I would hear the deacons praying and ministers up there praying. So I've learned how to duplicate those prayers. Can sound real intelligent and make them sound really good. Later on in life, I became a deacon, and I would hear these two older deacons pray, man, and they could hoon and call on the Lord and move your spirit like nobody else. And I told one of the deacons one day, I said, man, I envy your life, man. That man could sing, he could pray, he had his family with him. And for me, I thought becoming a deacon would fix my drinking and my drug. And I knew I was drinking too much. It hadn't got to the point to where I crossed the line of addiction, I don't believe, but I know it was heavy drinking. And the big book talks about, you know, once we cross that line of alcoholism, there's no turning back. And it's sort of kind of like being allergic to bees. Once allergic to bees, people very seldom are no longer allergic to bees. So I assumed prayer and meditation or prayer at that time in the Baptist church would heal me. And it helped me. It slowed me down from drinking beer, chasing women and doing all those things. But soon after, something didn't go my way, or the monotony of life, or I don't know exactly what happened, but I eventually ended up drinking a whole lot more. And even going further into smoking weed and eventually smoking crack, not knowing the damages. Although everybody talks about it and everything, but no, it won't happen to me. I won't get hooked. I just want to have a little fun, you know. And I believe that's the great lie that everyone is told at one time or another, coming up through the formal educational periods of their lives, and America being built on all of these lies, and especially in the Black community, the lies that we're told and the tension that is presented. You know, there's always somebody supreme or better than us. We're always looking outside of ourselves to be healed. But I said all of that to get back to prayer and meditation. It was difficult for me to meditate, and it was difficult for me to pray. I got into a program where prayer and meditation was something totally different. When I came into recovery, there was a lady that came around that literally sat us down and we had to meditate. We could elect to go to that one of the classes in my 28-day detox. And I could never slow my brain down. Don't you know all the issues I have? I have problems. I need to get fixed. I've done this. I'm losing that. This is not going to work. And all of the issues that happens to an alcoholic when they come into the program, usually at the bottom of their rope. Fortunately, I had some insurance, and insurance kicked in, and I was able to take the time I needed to heal. I didn't know how long that was going to be. I didn't know what that looked like at the time. All I knew was that I was suffering from a pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. My life had got bad. February 22, I'd asked for a divorce. November 2nd, the divorce became final. November 5th, I was in Houston moving all of the stuff out of the house and preparing the house for sale, or even worse yet, foreclosure or whatever came about it. And then those 14 days there was crazy. I was as deep in my addiction and alcoholism as I've ever been. And by the time I flew back here on the 16th, it was really bad. I missed a flight, missed a connecting flight the second time around. Did some things that normal people don't do. So I knew that my addiction had caught up with me, and I couldn't live on. I couldn't go on. So went to detox, learned how to meditate, still didn't catch on, head swarming, and couldn't sit still long enough. But fortunately, I stuck with it. And I took a program, and I always give Ayanna Van Zandt the props of the spiritual warrior training program. I don't know that program was any different than my training to be a deacon. I don't think it was. Actually, today I know it was just the right time, the right place, in the right situation for me to be receptive. I often talk about Michael Beckwith and the acorn. And when he presented the oak tree story, when he presented that an acorn has everything in it it needs to have in it to be an oak tree. Let me say that again. An acorn has everything in it it needs to be a mighty oak. And that really became the foundation of my spirituality, because I saw for the first time that religion and spirituality was too different. I saw that really the Creator loved me just as much as he loves an acorn or an animal or you or myself. And if he can do that in an acorn the size of a dime, what could he do with my life? And so I transitioned slowly into seeking a spiritual belief, a spiritual connection with the universe. And I didn't know what I was seeking for. Every time the 12 steps said God, I said, hey, religion, I got it. I'll go back to praying and meditating in church and life will be good. But that didn't really work for me. I'm not saying it don't work for you or won't work for you. I'm saying what worked for me. This is my experience. In my experience, once I grasped the simple understanding that the Creator put everything in me, that I need to be the best person I can be on this earth. All I need is the right environment. That means my spiritual, my physical, my mental condition has to be placed in the right environment to be exactly what I'm supposed to be. Today, I realize that my position on earth is to help another individual. During that spiritual warrior training, we had to come up with a mantra, and I said I was going to look it up, but the mantra was basically, I will, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm committed to, I now choose to. And we filled in the blank. Mine was to serve those that the Holy Spirit placed before me to serve. Now that took 5 months of prayer, meditation, journaling every day. It took a lot to get to that statement. But back to meditation, my mind was racing so much. The first 28 days of detox and then another 28-day PHP that I couldn't meditate at all. Fortunately, I heard Michael Beckwith. He had Ayanna Van Zandt on the program, and I listened to her program and I signed up for her program. And that's where my life began. She had us making sure that we made our bed every night. Or every morning when we got up, washed the dishes, took the trash out. Simple things that normal Americans do on a regular basis, that it was just put into place, into cycles. And to make sure that I get up, I would read the spiritual characteristic for the day. I would admit or set a specific goal for 3 characteristics out of a list of characteristics for character building. I would quote my mantra. I would also pray and journal about what I expected my day to be. And then at the end of the day, I documented what my day was. And I never had to beat myself up about accomplishing or not accomplishing or doing the things that I thought was right or anything, but it was still just a routine. And that routine helped me get into touch with my inner being through prayer and meditation. So if you're meditating and can't meditate or don't believe you can meditate, trust me, washing dishes, walking, running, knitting, any of those things can be considered meditating. But meditation for me best fit when I do sit still, when I do tap into my inner self, when I listen for the voice within, because I serve a creator of the universe, not one that gives me free will and then tell me he's going to send me to hell. I serve the universe, the energy of the earth that just amazes me whenever I tap into it. And I wish I had more words to express a spiritual connection, but I know today that I have a spiritual connection. I was journaling and I would see different things come to life on the page, words and eyes look like they were smiling, or sometimes I wasn't feeling good and I could almost see a frown in some of the things I was writing. So through prayer and meditation, I learned to stay positive at all costs. It takes just as much energy. Actually, it takes more energy to be disgruntled and angry than it does to just smile. And I like smiling, if you can't tell. So anyway, prayer and meditation, my engagement and all of those things led up to this. Now, I spent a good 5 months in my apartment journaling, getting in touch with and identifying the things that caused me the most turmoil. Wasn't so much pain, it was turmoil. Not sure of myself, negative self-talk, all of these things were things that I suffered with. No confidence. Although I've passed the master's electrician's exam, I've got my associate, bachelor's, and master's degree online while working in a war zone. Sometimes 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, meeting with students and things of that nature to do a group project. Whatever it was, I put to work in to become this individual. My dad always taught me to work hard. Got it. Get a good education. Got it. But for some reason, spirituality and sobriety eluded me regularly. So with all of that, I started the program. I worked daily, prayer and meditation. Holy Spirit teach me, Holy Spirit this. Just techniques, which became a regular practice. And listening to Michael Beckwith, he talks about practicing getting in touch with yourself, practicing a spiritual program, practicing just healthy eating, practicing helping others, and all of these things that I see, in the Bible, but a lot of people can't really follow the things in the Bible as it is. And anyway, it's a great day to be sober. It's a great day to have a podcast and to be able to come on here and express myself freely, and to know that I'm not going to go to hell. Hell is right here on earth if you let it be. I often talk to one of my sponsors, and he says that church is for those that don't want to go to hell, and AA is for those that have been to hell and don't want to go back. So anyway, I can make notes and laugh and talk about those kind of things today. It's a great day to be sober, a great day to be on a podcast discussing self-love, because my self-love journey, again, is me showing up on a regular basis, taking care of the things I need to take care of today to be a better me. Simple. It is simple. Now, how do you do that, Wendell? Like I said, I pray, I meditate. I wake up at 4:45. I pray. I meditate for 20, 30 minutes. I journal for 20, 30 minutes. And then I go about my day, showering and a meeting and things of that nature. I get to work and do my work. It's a nice, simple life. I don't have to worry about next year. I just worry about the day. Make plans for next year, but I don't worry about it. Wasting energy. So that's on meditation. Meditating, if you can't meditate or don't feel that you can meditate, once I get quiet, I listen to a guided meditation that talks about deep breathing down into your stomach. If I breathe into my chest, it's fight or flight. If I breathe into my stomach, it's more of a calming effect. Deep in through my nose, down to my stomach and back out. Most of the meditations that you can find on YouTube, or I'll put one in here, Soothing Pod is a good one, that I just listen to 5-10 minutes and move on about my day. So with that, getting in touch with myself and then moving on to the journaling portion of it. As I stated, I've been journaling now for somewhere around 615 days. And it's the greatest thing that happened to me. And there's a nerve that goes from your fingertip to your brain. If you write it down, whatever's going on in my head, if I put it on paper, it becomes facts. It's no longer fiction running around there and I can run it all. Man, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and it's also a powerful thing to have and used improperly. And for the longest, I was using it improperly. So anyway, once I do all of that, I pray and meditate, get in touch with myself. I found that I had blocked out a lot of childhood trauma, and that came through journaling. So then I did a little bit more extensive shadow work. There's plenty of books out there. I have a link that I'll put in here for shadow work. If you're interested in it, just let me know, and I'll get to it. I was checking to see. I thought I had something right here. Either way, it's a beautiful thing. Shadow work. Did all of that. Went on with life, and I found myself here today explaining an engagement party and true love. And only way I can have true love is unconditional love for others, unconditional love for myself. And now I have that. I was able to forgive others for the wrongs they did me. I was able to ask others to forgive me for the wrongs I've done them. And if I haven't, this is one more request to forgive me for the things that I haven't done. I can't see and get to everyone, but if you're listening and I have harmed you, please let me know. The 12 steps gives us a program on the 10th step. It asks us to take a daily inventory. I do a spot check whenever something's wrong with me, whenever I've crossed somebody, or whenever I get angry. I immediately try to correct it. I don't allow it to go on for days, months, years. That's just not the way to live life. It's wasted energy. So what else can I talk about as far as self-love? So we know the definition. My definition of self-love is doing the things I need to show up 100% today to be me. It's not to hurt anyone else. Recovery portion was the 12 steps and being truthful to those steps. In the 12-step program, the 12 steps says having had a spiritual experience, I'm trying to blank. 12 steps is having had a spiritual experience. As a result of these steps, we will try to carry this message to the alcoholic that suffers and to practice these principles in all our affairs. It didn't say that I would go back to church. It said I would have a spiritual experience as the result of these steps. And then I could carry this message back to others. Simple, but not easy. So I also had to continue to give back. So all of that created this self-love in me. And I started dibbling and dabbing and dating soon after, about 5 months. And the greatest thing that ever happened, I met someone that wasn't looking, I wasn't looking. The stars aligned, as I say all the time. If the stars align out, then the stars aligned, and the rest is history. But this weekend we had an engagement party. Beautiful, beautiful. Friends from far and near came, my brothers and the Akron crew. Shout out to the Akron crew who came out and helped support me, my cousins and all of her family. There to support us. And a lot of individuals came up to me and said, man, we haven't seen her happy like this in a long time. And of course, that makes my heart happy. It makes my heart smile. But my past, the things I've done, and everything in the past, I used to say if I'd have got what I was supposed to get, I wouldn't be here. But today I believe and I know that I'm getting exactly what I was supposed to get. There was a lot of trials and tribulations to get here. A lot of people hurt, and a lot of times I was hurt. But I know today that, yes, I did things that other people did that they didn't recover from. It's not on me to pick and choose who recovers. It's on me to do the work and to make sure that I recover one day at a time. So I have a daily reprieve from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And it's a beautiful thing. So thank each and every one of you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your support. Watch the entire video. Share with somebody that's suffering from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. I found the blueprint to more peace and happiness by discovering, discarding, and dealing with childhood trauma. The 12 steps, shadow work. I have several coaching programs. I would love to invite you out to be a speaker on this program. If you have any type of story, a type of story that helps you recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind, there's all kind of things that's out there. Childhood trauma, I can coach to the point that I can show what I did. I'm not a licensed therapist, but I know peer support is very important, and that it's needed. It's needed. And I'm serving and doing the things that I know I need to do on a regular basis today. So I'm going to get off of here. Everything self-love and recovery. I'm happy to be engaged. Our wedding will be announced soon. And thank you for your support. Thank you for all that you do on a regular basis.